I'm going to use craft paper for this project. I'll show you how to use plastic in a bit. I do not like to lay down tarps. They move around too much, so the next thing you know, you've walked on them and then you've got a gap in the floor, or they're leaning up against your trim. I like something you can tape down, like plastic or paper. Alright, so take your 1.5 inch blue tape. First you want to dust out from underneath, and take your blue tape, rip off about a 1 to 2 inch section. Then what you want to do is try to slide it up underneath the base. Okay? Now if you can't slide it up underneath the base, just bring it down as tight as you can to it, like this. And make sure that you don't roll your tape up onto the trim, right? You want to make sure that it's flat to the floor. All right, then I like to cut the tape at a small angle so it'll fit right into the corner. Okay, then go the opposite way. Again, so it's a little tight here, so I'm just going to push that tape down in there. Now I can see a little bit of the floor back there, so I'm going to take a small piece of tape and try to slide it up there a little better. Alright, here's the corner. It's not a big deal. Again, just rip off a piece. I'd bring it out an inch or so. 1.5 inches. Try to slide it on. You see it's kind of tight there, so I'm just going to do the best I can. I was able to get that one under there quite a ways, so that's good. All right. Okay, so here's how you go around a door frame. I'm not going to do the inside of the closet, but what you want to do is start with the base. Just do a small piece there. I'm kind of lucky here because there's a gap underneath the trim. So just one small piece at a time. Make sure you're covering the floor. You don't want any part of the floor showing. Slide it up underneath there, tight to this corner. Okay. And then I'm just going to do this last piece here. And again, I got lucky because I could slide up underneath it. So that's the way you want to tape the blue line around the bottom of a door frame. Alright, so we're going to roll out the craft paper here. You see that I've got the perimeter all taped off with the blue. And you'll notice as I'm rolling it out here, it's covering about half of the blue tape. I'm putting that roll of tape down on the end so that the paper doesn't roll back up on me. Okay, so you just roll it down. Now here I've taken, I'm going to go around this chair, because I like to do things the hard way. But you could easily have just cut the paper here and then taped it down and then recut it. But I just do it this way. It's just easier for me. It might be kind of a pain for you guys, so you could just cut it into smaller chunks. But you'll see I'll lay it down on the other side of the chair, and then using my knife, I'll just simply cut a slit so that it can get past the chair. All right, then I'm smoothing it out. I'm still trying to maintain the best coverage on the left there. You want half of it on the tape so that you can tape it down later with the masking. But pull it straight out. Okay, and then cut the other end there. All right. Now I'm just trying to line it up straight. Again, you don't want to do any taping before you've lined your paper out, right? So make sure that your coverage over the blue tape, is working, that it's straight. And now I've taped up the very end of it, and then this is just kind of a quick shot of how I tape it. So you'll notice that the masking tape is not coming onto the trim at all. It's not what you want, right? You're trying to put the paper down to the blue tape. That keeps it from coming out. This is one reason that I don't like using tarps. If it was a tarp, you walk on them and then they just move around on you. So I'm just not a fan of that. I like to cover things up, tape them down, and just not worry about them. I think that's just the best way to go about this. All right, and this is just the very end. And you'll notice where the 2 pieces of craft paper lap. I'm just going to tape those down, right? You don't want the paper flapping up like that, so tape it all down. All right, there you go. I mentioned that I like to cover the floor in craft paper, but I just want to show you guys how to lay down plastic. It's pretty straightforward. So you see that I have the perimeter of the trim all covered in the blue tape. So it's all taped up and ready to go. And then I'm just unfurling or unfolding my plastic here. And it's pretty straightforward. You just lay it down and then you're just going to simply tape the edge of the plastic to the blue tape. Okay. I'm just straightening it out here. Try to keep the plastic down a little bit loose. Don't pull it really taut. You know, towards the edge, it doesn't matter here. If the floor were really soft like carpet, I would say tape it down really loose. But if it's a little taut, where you tape it down, that's fine. But you want to leave the rest of the area loose so you can walk on it. It gives it a little room to move around. Okay, so you lay it down. And then just simply take some masking tape and mask the end. See, now if you just left it like that and you started to walk it, let's say you didn't tape it down and you just started walking out, you're just going to pull the plastic away, right? So it's just worth this extra, you know, this is less than a minute to just tape this down. And then once it's all down, right, it's covered, it's protected, and you can just do your thing. I'm always going to make this comment about tarps. Tarps move around too much. Do this. It's a lot easier. All right, so here's just the other end. And you'll notice I have some extra plastic here, but just so you see how it's folding up onto the wall. Well, watch what I do to it here. So as I straighten it up, take it and fold it up underneath, right? You don't want that excess flapping around. So pull it, put it underneath, create your line, and then just tape it down. That excess isn't going to hurt anything under there, right? If you're walking on it, you're never going to feel it, so it doesn't matter. This is a central heating on the floor there. That's the heater vent. In houses with central heating, they'll have cold air returns. They're usually larger vents on the floor or on the wall. You want to make sure you don't cover them up if you're using the heater system. That sucks up. That's where the cold air is sucked up. The heater needs that, so do not cover those up. Now you notice when I taped around this that I taped the blue tape and then the plastic down with the masking tape. You do this and you want to make sure that that's pretty airtight, because if the heater's on, the airflow could go up underneath the plastic and then you're going to create these huge bubbles, which are really, really annoying. All right, and here's what the end product looks like with the plastic down. You'll notice it's kind of loose. You'll see on the right-hand side I had some excess, so I just folded it up underneath. Again, pretty straightforward process, but now that it's completely covered, it's done and you're ready to go. You can walk, you're not moving tarps around, you just can go. All right, so I've got the floor all taped up around the perimeter. So the next thing we're going to want to do is cover up our stuff in the middle of the room with plastic.